Hello and welcome to future YouTube viewers to this video in which I will be covering a content creator, I use the term very loosely, that we've covered before. Someone called Mr. Obvious, okay? Who's got this kind of weird, almost like Guy Fawkes type appearance, yeah? Similar sort of vibe. You know, the Guy Fawkes Anonymous mask, that's what it reminds me of. And when I first saw this, I kind of thought it would be a more serious, like, kind of account or something. But honestly, wait till you hear the video, it's bound to be absurd. As you can see, it's the usual sort of stuff you would expect, okay? But this one is the one we're going to be watching. And it's called The Left Wants to Turn Men into Femboys. Oh my god! These ideas are so ridiculous. Like, where do they get them from?
Gavin.
Hey, it's Dude. Yeah, I've got the Hey.
Mug Club. You won't be disappointed.
I speak for the left. Forced feminization is crucial for socialism.
True. Thank you very much for the sub. I very much appreciate it. Okay. So, let's get into the video. I don't know if you can see, but you've got before, like the Chad meme, and now, is it Astafolo? Is that how you say it? Astafolo? That anime character that everyone goes on about. Astafolo. Yeah. So basically the left want to turn everyone into Astafolo. That's the meme. Right, let's get into this video, okay? Let's get into the meat of this. Let's go. Okay, I really need to fix this. It's starting to annoy me. Sorry. Just wait a few moments. I'm excited about this video. It's to do with the ad blocker, apparently. Astolfo.
The left wants to turn all men into femboys. Oh yeah, they do. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious.
Look at that for a start. Listen. Look at that for the start, hey? What a wonderful beginning. I love the fact that they've chosen like Astafolo as well. That was something of a meme in my community. Where basically, I don't know, it was Ilias, someone called Ilias, really funny guy, used to go on about Astafolo all the time. Anyway, we're going in hot.
And today, on the internet, we've got to talk about femboys. Okay, it is that time of year, right? So many of you probably heard the story of a 16-year-old boy who was given estrogen for a behavioral disorder while at the LA County Juvenile Hall. There's been a lawsuit, and the boy developed breasts. He had to get surgery to remove the breasts, and now he's mentally scarred and traumatized. His father says that he won't leave his room, and that he's scared of the world.
Okay. So what, the known leftists at LA County Juvenile Hall? I just don't understand this. Like, can anyone find this story so we can find out what... Yeah, exactly. Like, zero context. I wonder if we'll go through the article in detail.
They gave a young boy, pumped him full of female hormones, destroyed his body, destroyed his mind, and completely and utterly wrecked him. And nobody knows why, but I think I do. Now, like all real men, I love femboy hooters. Oof. Especially that one right there. Now, some people...
Yeah. Listen, femboys aren't boys or men that have been given estrogen, okay? Femboys are men, people that are fellas that look very feminine. And it's femboys because they've got like a youthful appearance about them. Obviously, the concept is like they're not underage, okay? It's not like a weird thing like that. Okay, hang on a sec. What's this? What was the actual story then? Let's find out. Okay. 16-year-old boy gets breast after being given estrogen at juvenile hall. Was given estrogen for a behavioural disorder. Is that a thing that happens? I mean, obviously, it doesn't sound like this is like someone that's like a trans person. You know, this is like, it's like estrogen maybe is being used as an off-label thing to treat another medical condition. The boy was prescribed 30 doses of estrogen without obtaining his or his parents' informed consent. Well, yeah, that doesn't sound right. This just sounds like a criticism of what's going on in the prison system more than anything else.
Gavin.
I don't know how this is evidence that like the left want to turn people into femboys. This is literally just seemingly like an administrative failure amongst the prison system, prison health system. Yeah, exactly. This you can look at this and go, yeah, obviously there's a failing here of the government, right? Like, so yeah, let's talk about that. I don't think anyone, listen, I don't think you'll find a leftist out there that will say to you, hey, I think the people in juvenile like detention centres should be given estrogen, you know? The lawsuit says that Oman prescribed estrogen for ODD as an experimental treatment. God, if that's true, because that's what the lawsuit says. If that's true, that's really yikes. Damn. Anyway, yep. Prison system bad. Okay. I agree, this is bad. But I don't think this is part of any plan to make people femboys. But let's see what the arguments are, okay? Let's see what happens next. Oh, God.
People would call these traps, but as a straight man, when I see a trap, I turn 360 degrees and walk away. There's nothing gay about that. But for real, folks.
Oh my God. Listen. Listen. Okay, we all know it's going to be yikes, but let's just break this down for a second, okay? Let's start to... Hang on. Did he say 360? Did he say 360, really?
All these traps, but as a straight man, when I see a trap, I turn 360 degrees and walk away. There's nothing gay about that.
Wait.
But for real.
Wait, hang on. I spin in place and walk into them. Is that like a joke? He's saying that like... Or does he not realise? This is very confusing. There's a lot of terms being conflated here, you know? Oh, it is a joke, okay. The circle is a mating move. Look, there's a lot of different things going on here. This person doesn't understand the different terminology that's being used at the moment. But yeah, there's a lot of insecurity here, you know? A hell of a lot of insecurity. I think he's just trying to say that, oh, if I see like, I'm quoting him here, if I see a trap, I basically want them. I basically am attracted to them or something like that. It's a kind of weird fetishization of trans people, I think, that he's engaging in, to be honest. I think that's what's going on here.
Folks, whether you prefer femboy Hooters or tomboy Outback or even
Chaser.
IHOP, what's really important here is that everyone has a choice. You can choose to go to femboy Hooters, or you can go to tomboy Outback. And the femboys can choose to be a femboy or just be a regular man. Everyone consents. And that's what it's all about. But what they did to the 16-year-old...
Wait. You have Mr. Obvious's permission to do whatever you want. I know that people were like on the edge of their seats waiting for permission from this, you know, probably basement dwelling loser to let you know, hey, you can be a femboy if you want. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I think what he's going to do is obviously go on to make the argument of, oh, but what they did to the boy was wrong, and it's like, yeah, we all agree with that, but you're approaching this from the wrong angle. You think this is the state forcing people to be femboys, and that's somehow leftists' fault. And anyway, come on, let's see what he's got to say.
Year-old boy was not consent. They forced him to take these treatments. They threatened him. They said, if you don't do what we say, we're going to send you to prison. Here you can see on the Los Angeles Times, a 16-year-old boy being held at Los Angeles County Juvenile Hall developed enlarged breasts after he was prescribed estrogen to treat a behavioral disorder, a move that baffled doctors, who said the treatment defied all medical logic, according to a lawsuit filed last month. So he was diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, ODD, and arrested. So the Times revealed that his testosterone levels were slightly high when the doctor diagnosed him, prescribed doses of estrogen in order to treat his slightly high testosterone. Now, nobody knows why they did this. Some people have postulated that it was a mad science experiment, but I believe I know. Other commentators, like Tim Pool, have said things like, I think it was some forced experiment to see what would happen if you did a gender reassignment on an unwilling participant. I think he misses the plot completely.
Ah, yes, of course. Because, of course, the person you're going to reach to the site is going to be Tim Pool in this case. Professor Tim Pool. Professor Tim Pool, Fellow of Beanie Studies at CBT University, Michigan. Why would you reach for Tim Pool? That doesn't make any sense. He's not even a doctor or anything. He knows nothing about this. Literally one of the least qualified people. You could go and ask a random person in the street and you'd probably get a better explanation for what's going on than you would from Tim Pool. I'd take the rando in the street over Tim Pool on this matter, to be honest with you. Dr. Professor Pim Tool. Yeah. This is so weird. It's a strange case to try and make this argument. I mean, listen, your guess is as good as mine as to why it happened. It probably was just like some enormous error or mistake or something like that. Maybe it was some sort of experiment, but I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
They didn't do this to do an experiment about gender reassignment. They did this to destroy a man and toxic masculinity. You see, we have to talk about feminism and far left ideology. You see,
wait, what? What's this got to do with far left ideology? Is this to do with that? Is this to do with chapter 69 in Das Kapital, the hidden chapter that no one knows about, that only the true leftists know about? Chapter 69, when all of Karl Marx's wacky ideas came out. I'm baffled. I'm honestly baffled about how they're linking some sort of error or malfeasance or whatever on the part of the prison system to far leftists. I'm not seeing the connection personally, okay? Yeah, chapter 69, page 420. You've got it, Watson. You've got it.
See, these extreme ideologies believe in the concept known as toxic masculinity, and if I had to guess, they were trying to cure him of this toxic masculinity by pumping him full of female hormones, which, mind you, can leave a man in...
Wait. No, Nuki's got some of that. The Times show that the team... So, obviously, his testosterone was slightly high. So, they were maybe prescribing it as a way of reducing the testosterone. I don't know. It sounds like a bad idea. I don't know much about it. I'm not a doctor myself, okay? I don't know. It doesn't sound very good to me. Yeah, exactly, Dario, yeah. I wasn't expecting hard-hitting criticism of the prison justice system from the right, yeah. Yeah, literally just making it up. Oh, yeah, they pumped him full of hormones due to toxic masculinity? Like, I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from. Do you see what I mean about this dude? This is one of the best content creators I can cover, I think, because their videos are just so wacky and so out there. It's incredible. The kind of slightly similar Guy Fawkes mask put me off the trail that this guy would make just absolutely incredibly absurd content like this.
Infertile, destroy his body, and destroy everything he is. Here you can see on tolerance.org. Oh, that's hilarious, since they aren't very tolerant. What do we mean when we say toxic masculinity? Now, this is a person who made headlines when they talked about toxic masculinity. Lots of people criticized them, made fun of them, and laughed at them. So they made this article, and they said, well, let me explain what I think toxic masculinity is. Before we engage students in conversations about masculinity or femininity, toxic or otherwise, we should begin with a few ideas about gender. Researchers have shown that there is very little difference between the brains of men and women. Wrong! Research has actually shown that there's an incredible difference between the male and female brain. The connectome, a way of mapping connectivity in...
What is this? What's going on here now? Wait, what's with the brains? Why are we invoking the brain scans? This has got nothing to do with anything. Like, this looks like it's from a UK tabloid paper. This isn't like a medical study. This looks like a tabloid paper's interpretation of some sort of study somewhere. This is nonsense, is it? It's been debunked. Well, there we go. Neurosexism. Ah, okay, that's interesting. There we go. Easy. Thanks, Dario. That's why Dario's here, because he's got the big brains. The tech turf, well, yeah, maybe. Well, this is kind of... There's a lot of stuff going on in this video. Anyway, let's continue.
The brain, revealing significant differences between men and women.
Wrong.
Now let's just take a look here. The brain on the left is a male brain. The brain on the right is a female brain. Let's read. Typical male brain. Most connections run between the front and the back, parts of the same brain hemisphere, which could account for the better spatial skills and motor muscle control in men. Now the female brain. Many more neural connections go from side to side, across the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Scientists say this could account for women's better verbal skills and...
What scientists? Where's... Yeah, I know. It's spatial. He said spatial. Spatula. Anyway, yeah, this is obviously, as Dario said, this looks like it's been debunked in any case, but also, like, even if this was true, this is a tiny aspect of what the original article was talking about, because, you know, the thing is, regardless of this, toxic masculinity, even approaching it from this point of view, could still be a thing, right? This isn't debunking the concept of toxic masculinity. This is just allegedly debunking the fact that men's and women's have got different brains, which seems like that concept's been debunked in itself. So this is just a complete sideline and red herring. You know, it's the equivalent of like pointing to someone when they're talking to you and it's uncomfortable and going, "Oh, look, a bird," and they turn around and you run away. That's basically what this is, okay?
Intuitive abilities. Aha! So here you can see real science showing you that there's a difference.
Real science. This is, I'm telling you, I recognise this font. This is just like a tabloid newspaper, okay?
Between male and female brains. The way they connect, the way they communicate, and what they're good at are completely different. It has often been a stereotype that men are better at motor control, reading maps, spatial reasoning, and women are better at verbal skills and intuition. Now, these left-wing activists will tell you that there's no such thing. Stereotypes are all false. Men and women are exactly the same. But as you can see, they are clearly not. These images show you that there are very real physical, biological, and genetic differences.
Yeah, of course. Of course, yeah, Dario, I agree with that, you know. But at the end of the day, like, people can... the socialization only has so much power. Like, I was socialized to think that police officers are based, and now I don't think police officers are based, right? Science finally on his side for once. I don't. Yeah, listen. I don't often mock people for the way they pronounce words because it's just a kind of inane thing. But it is kind of funny. Like spatule sounds like spatula, and I presume this guy probably thinks that women belong in the kitchen. But the way he's saying spatial, you would think that maybe he thinks men should be the ones holding the spatula. I don't know.
Between men and women. Not only that, they've done studies on homosexual brains, and you know what they found? Men-
the homosexual brain. Does anyone in chat have a homosexual brain? Can I just check that quickly? Who here is rocking one of those top of the line, homosexual brains? Listen, this bit's for you. He's gonna talk about your big gay brain. Okay, get ready.
Men who are homosexual have brains that look more like a female brain, and vice versa. Women who are lesbians have brains that look more like male brains. So there's something very real and something very tangible about gender differences between men and women, and even sexuality.
He literally has just said that. He's not even listen. At least before he threw up this article, okay, to give us some sort of insight or some sort of source, okay? Now he's literally just saying stuff. He's literally just making stuff up off of his anti-SJW brain, okay? Yeah, this is the neuro-homo agenda. Basically, he's saying, but he's saying that gay men have got the same brain as women, essentially. That's correct.
So this is where the left-wing ideology goes absolutely insane. Here you can see, while gender identity is a deeply held feeling of being male or female, or another gender. What other gender? Did I miss the memo or something? Hideyoshi is the only other gender I know. People of different genders often act differently, not because of biological characteristics, but because of rigid societal norms created around femininity and masculinity.
Yeah, that's 100% true, accurate, and correct. Oh yeah, the one joke. We got the one joke in there, didn't we? I identify as some weeb stuff. Can you hear the Hoover, by the way? There's some hoovering going on in the background. I seriously don't... or vacuuming, I don't know what you call it in America. I seriously don't know how extreme a lot of people like this guy don't see toxic masculinity around them. They're willfully ignorant to it, that's the thing. Well, are they willfully ignorant? I would assume so. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, this is just true. Like, I don't know. Anyway, let's see what he's got to say.
And there it is. The
Clown
insane
world, apparently.
left-wing ideology that is behind all of this, behind the feminization of the Western male.
This is apparently like a fairly reasonable assertions. Listen, fairly reasonable assertions about the fact that we're socialised into certain roles in society is like apparently some far leftist, crazy, wacky agenda. Oh God. Oh yeah, this video is worse than I thought it was going to be. Okay, anyway, come on, let's continue.
And believe me, folks, it is happening. The idea that there's no differences between men and women is wrong. It's not true. We know for a fact that testosterone and estrogen...
Wait, hang on a sec. Who is arguing that there's no difference between men and women? Who's making that argument that there's like no differences whatsoever between men and women? I've never heard anyone ever make that argument. Hey, listen. Feminization of the Western male, yeah. Listen, I'm not saying that because just because I've heard it doesn't exist. Maybe there's some wacky fringe cases of people making that argument, but yeah. No one's making that argument, Mr. Obvious. The name must be ironic. He just ignores very obvious statements of like fact here.
Have very different effects on the body. Otherwise, men would not grow breasts and become different when given female hormones. Likewise, women would not become more aggressive when given testosterone. So for these feminists, and believe me, they are out there. They're out of school, out of their gender studies classes. You know, I've said for years that affirmative action and letting people who didn't deserve to go to university was going to lead to a generation of crackpots. You've got all these extremists in universities being brainwashed by the regressive left to believe things like,
my God,
there's no differences between men and women, or that masculinity is toxic, or that men are evil and must be cured.
Wait. Okay. No. Wait. What did he say?
By the regressive left to believe things like there's no differences between men and women, or that
No one argues that.
masculinity is toxic.
No one says that masculinity is toxic, okay? There's a difference between like being masculine and having and masculinity as a concept and toxic masculinity. Right? Only aspects of it are. Yeah, exactly. Not the entirety of masculinity is toxic. Only certain aspects within like society, at a societal level. Wow. Just literally, just 5 different straw men popping up and just like bang, like that.
Or that men are evil and must be cured.
Okay, men are evil and must be cured. I'm gonna have another energy drink, okay? Get your emotes ready. And if you haven't got your emotes, you know what to do. Shoot me that sub. Get access to that bad boy. There we go. So yeah, these are literally like just completely absurd arguments. So that, okay, perhaps, maybe, just maybe, there's like an extremely small number of people that are making these arguments, but it's not on like a broad level at all. This idea that men need to be cured, like that's just nonsense.
All of these crackpots who studied gender studies, many others who became doctors, they're out there now. And they're
okay, so we've had like regressive left, gender studies. This video came out 3 days ago on the 17th of July 2020. It's got like 41,000 views. Like these ideas are still fairly popular, you know, in terms of like internet viewership and stuff, you know. It's incredible.
Experimenting on your sons, on our boys, and they're forcing them to become women. Now, the feminization of the Western man has been going on for a long time. Here you can see on Psychology Today, feminizing boys as we masculine girls. And this guy talks about something he's noticed, that something is wrong. But here's the funny part. For years, the left and feminists have been pushing the idea that if only men would act more like girls, they would be more successful, have better behavior, and be better, be less toxic.
Wait, what? Wait. Leftists and feminists are pushing the idea that men or boys need to be more like girls. All these leftists, listen, I engage in a lot of lefty spaces. Just because I haven't heard it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I mean, listen, has anyone here heard this argument that men need to be, or boys need to be more like girls? Anyone ever heard that argument, like legit from someone? I haven't personally. Maybe someone in chat has. Yeah, it's like a joke. Yeah. God, everyone wants to get feminized. Oh my God, everyone's memeing.
sexist idea. And I just want to make that clear. The idea of toxic masculinity is sexist. But here's the problem. Making men and women less masculine is actually a bad thing. Here you can see. The problem for boys and men whose masculinity...
Yeah, sure. When you talk about... Basically, the idea is that we dismantle ways in which men are oppressed by toxic masculinity, right? So, for example, the idea that like men shouldn't talk about their feelings, that avoiding talking about feelings is some sort of show of strength, and the idea that like men should be stoic in the face of like, you know, sad stuff. I don't know. Yeah, sure. But the thing is like, I wouldn't even frame it like that. It's just simply that like men should be free to express emotions in their way that they need to, you know? We should create in a society, not where it's like, oh, men should be like women, where it should be like just everyone should be open to discuss emotions, you know, when they need to, appropriately, you know? I don't know. Well, it definitely sounds like something liberal prop feminist magazines. Yeah, sure. That's my problem though with this whole thing, Effie, is they're blaming the left, radical leftists, for things that liberals say in their pop feminist magazines, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's down to political illiteracy. Anyway, come on, let's continue.
Is being subject to attack is that many of the studies have shown that both men and women who scored higher on masculinity than femininity scale were more likely to have higher self-esteem. The original thinking by Bem and others was that the most highly successful people would be androgynous, defined as scoring above the median on both masculinity and femininity. So it was surprising to many that this was often not the case, but rather, scoring higher on masculinity was frequently the best predictor of success.
Yeah, because we live in a society, we all live in a society, of course. We all live in a society where masculinity is seen as like the necessary thing to succeed, right? We do live in a society. Yeah, I don't know. I think that like for me, with this stuff, it's like that is just another element of toxic masculinity. And also, like, what even is this thing we're talking about here? I don't necessarily disagree that like masculinity is considered to be a trait that will make you successful. I mean, listen, look at the what was it Jordan Peterson used to say about women not getting pay rises because they're too agreeable, right? Now, that's like the way we've structured society, but it doesn't mean it has to be like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of agree with what Jordan Peterson is saying, but it's not because I think, yeah, that's a good thing. It's like, no, it's wrong that we've set up society that way. You shouldn't have to like behave in a way that isn't suitable to your personality to get somewhere in life. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Capitalism favours competition. Masculine traits are usually more in a competitive mindset. Yeah, sure. Exactly, this is what I'm talking about with the agreeable stuff that Jordan Peterson used to bang on about. But it's just kind of like, well, the thing is, the women don't succeed is because they're too agreeable, and that's it. Conversation over. It's like, well, why have we decided to set up society to so heavily benefit like masculinity in men? Like, maybe we need to address that, but I don't know. Oh God, this video has given me lots of thoughts, lots of things to think about.
In other words, the more masculine you are, generally speaking, the more successful you are. Because guess what? Like everything else in life, testosterone has its pros and cons. Testosterone makes you aggressive, confident, strong, willing, driven. You go out there, you succeed, you win, you fight,
Oh my
you
God.
protect, you serve, you're a man, you live, you're self-reliant, and you be a leader. So yeah, there's
What?
negatives to more aggression, but there can be. But there can be negatives to anything. Estrogen has its negatives, sure. You're more caring, you're more understanding, you're more able to deal with stress in life. But you're also more emotional. You're less rational. These things happen. These hormones have powerful effects on the body. Just like testosterone makes men aggressive, estrogen makes women emotional. Now, the real sexism here isn't from
Ah, yes. The hormone understander has entered the building, has entered the room. Seems pretty reductive to just like reduce it down to these two traits. No, aggression isn't an emotion, you're right. Yeah, apparently being emotional is a weakness. Well, this is the thing. This fella's unironically engaging in toxic masculinity now. And for all this talk about wanting to support fellas, like, the attitude that being emotional is a weakness, there's a direct line you can draw between that attitude and male suicide rates. Right? So, it's like, I'm presuming this dude is claims to be concerned about the plight of men, maybe pushing literally dangerous ideas that being emotional is negative. Maybe don't push that because that actually harms men. I don't know. Yeah, this guy's extremely insecure. We're nearly through this anyway.
from men, and it's not from toxic masculinity. The real sexism is from the left. Let me explain.
Okay.
Saying that testosterone is bad because it makes people aggressive is sexist. Saying that estrogen is bad
Who is saying that? Like the. Listen, I know conservatives love to build straw men out of lefty positions because actually attacking the real ideas is too difficult for their tiny, minuscule brains. Okay? But like, I just this argument seems so ridiculous to me. Just the left say testosterone bad, estrogen good. yeah, the pesky hey Joe, yeah. The root of all problems, you got it.
because it makes women emotional is also sexist. Neither are bad. Both are important, and men need testosterone like
Yeah, that literally is what the left believe as well, of course. What? Oh, God. I'm getting annoyed with this dude, but I can't wait to cover him again. His videos are too good. I'd love to get this dude onto debate. That would be hilarious.
women need estrogen. It's what makes them them. If it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be men, there wouldn't be women, and there wouldn't be humanity. You see, feminism rejects the family unit. They reject the idea that you need a man and a woman to reproduce to
No, it doesn't. That's not true. Feminism simply promotes the idea that women should be able to choose whatever lifestyle they want, whether that be a homemaker, whether that be a careerist, you know, whatever they want. The idea that they have an equal opportunity to men to choose the path that they want in life. This concept that the feminists reject the family unit is totally absurd. It's just not true. It's a complete straw man. It's like I saw this meme earlier on Facebook, right? And it was like from like the 50s, and it was like some man coming home from work and like kneeling down to greet his kid as the kid was running towards him. And it was something like, "This is what the left despises," or something like that. And I just looked at it and thought, no one on the left like inherently despises that. They might despise the fetishization of that particular type of lifestyle, but they don't despise it inherently. It's just that is kind of been propagandized for so long to be the way that we should live our lives. So it's like, great, if that's an option and a choice for people that want it, fantastic, great. People can choose to live that life. But if people want to not engage with that style of life and choose a different life, they should be able to flourish and succeed as much as anyone else, you know? So yeah, it's just a complete absurdity to suggest that like feminists reject the family unit. No, they don't. They just want people to have a choice. And if someone doesn't want to have the family unit, then that's fine. That's on them to not do that, right? Like, I don't know. This whole thing is just. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, come on. Let's finish this. I can't believe I've had so much to say about this dumb fucks video. This is incredible.
To make a child. As much as I love those traps, they don't have a womb, and that is huge. So men need women. Women need men, and men are attracted to girly girls, and girls are.
The thing is, though, and this will really blow this fella's mind, but like, trans women can potentially have like their sperm frozen and stuff like that, right? So I know that would really blow this fella's mind. And trans men not only could have like their eggs frozen, but also in some cases aren't even like sterilized after. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, it's just I'm attracted to manly women and feminine men. Wait, really? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like trans are gonna have their you know. Anyway, come on, let's continue.
Generally attracted to manly men. Yeah, not everybody. Everyone has their kinks, but usually.
Wait, so being attracted to like a tomboy is a kink apparently. These people are so sexually repressed. They think that like having like being attracted to certain types of people is a kink. Imagine thinking that's a kink. Oh my god. Oh, these people. Incredible.
Western men are under attack, and they are being feminized.
Wait,
Take
what?
a look at this from Vox, a far left source. So you can't tell me that this is not a good source because.
Wait. This is just a graph. This is just a bar graph, a bar chart, with absolutely no context or any other information. Your Vox is liberal at best. Look, there's a line here. You know it's bad because the line down, okay?
Because it is. The average sperm count has dropped, but it is still within normal range. So here you can see that in 1973, sperm concentration million/milliliter, 99. In 2011, it was 47. Since the early 1970s, sperm count in Western countries has declined by more than 50%. Men are being feminized. Now, the reasons for this are many.
Wait, so he's just taken this one bar graph, okay? He's taken one bar graph from alleged far leftist at Vox, said line go down, therefore men are getting feminized. What? Yeah, this is not stonks. This is incredible. This is honestly just top tier. I didn't expect it. This is like PragerU level. This is worse than PragerU. Yeah, exactly. Well, if anyone can find out why, I'd be interested to have a look at it. Because I don't think it's because men are under attack and are being feminized, to be honest. Especially not based on some fringe case of some impropriety of the prison system where a 16-year-old was given estrogen as a medical treatment for something when they shouldn't have been. You know, I'm fairly certain, you know.
Some of it is due to fitness, stress, but I think a lot of it has to do with pollution and ideology. And you know the crazy thing about this trend is that...
Wait, an ideology? So what, if you have a certain ideology, that will cause your sperm count to go down? Is that how it works? You're basically walking around... Listen, you're basically walking around like a conservative, right? Your testicles are absolutely filled to the brim with sperm. They're popping out everywhere, okay? And then the very second that you decide, actually, I'm not about this conservative life. I'd actually rather be a lefty. You become a lefty, and immediately half of the sperms just die instantaneously in your balls. Okay. You feel like this weird sensation. What's going on? And you look down and your trousers are just soaked. You've just nutted millions of dead sperm out publicly. Sorry. Come on, let's continue. Okay?
Nobody seems to know why. Take a look at this image. It's testosterone levels in BuzzFeed men. Here you can
Oh
see
my god, this got debunked ages ago. This got debunked by H-Bomber guy in this video about this. Oh my god, he's still putting this one out.
Eugene has the highest score at 363. Keith has 259.
Yeah.
Zach has 252. And Ned has 212. What do these numbers mean? Well, let me put it this way. An 85-year-old man has testosterone levels on average of 376. Higher than anyone on this list.
He's actually, listen again.
Has
Listen.
testosterone levels
Listen to this. Listen again, listen.
on average of 376. Higher.
He's actually gone and bought that. He's actually gone and bought a little honkler thing to do the honks. That is a physical piece of equipment that he has purchased in order to do the clown honks, okay? He's unironically gone into a shop and it's been like, what would you like? What can I help you with today, sir? Okay, basically, I make absurd YouTube videos where I claim that like men are under attack because of a fringe case of a 16-year-old being mistreated by the prison system, and also a bar chart that I've seen. So what I need is a little thing that I can honk for this thing. It's called the Clown World meme. You probably won't understand, okay? But basically, I honk it, and it just shows my audience that it's ridiculous, okay? That is an interaction. That is an interaction that happened between this fella and some boomer in a shop who didn't know what the hell was going on, okay? That is a physical piece of equipment we're dealing with. I just wanted to point that out.
Higher than anyone on this list. In other words, Eugene here, and he's the Asian, has the highest testosterone.
Eugene here, the Asian. Why did he point that out? What's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with it? Why has the fact he's Asian got to be referenced like that? Oh my god. Okay, come on.
But it is still far, 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 far lower. I'm going to assume these guys are in their 30s. The average 35 to 44-year-old male has a testosterone level of 668. Holy shit, they're practically female. And looking at these men, they look like soy boys.
Oh my god. That's not how it works, yeah. Listen, we've all seen the H-Bomber Guy video, right? Oh yeah, Asian men are less met, yeah. I can't believe he zoomed in on the faces of people. This is the classic. Listen, this is so old. This is the 2016 thing of, oh what, a man smiling? Huh, soy boy much? Yeah, exactly. Soy boys looks like they're in accounts from Mayo 6.
They look very feminine. They look weak. They kind of...
What do you mean they look feminine and weak? They look like regular dudes. Like, what are you talking about? They look like regular hipster fellas. This dude looks like a hipster.
They look like women. They're like they're a stone's throw away from going full femboy, okay? From going full fem...
Not at all. They don't look feminine at all. It's like regular dudes. I think I walked past about 5 dudes that look like this fella just on my way into town today. Like, literally, just look like generic dudes. What is he talking about? He must think that, like, you know the Chad meme? He must think that, like, all men look like that or should look like that. Yeah, they're just nerds. They're just nerdy hipster type guys, right? They look like they work in liberal media, though. That's true.
Boy Hooters, look at these weak men. I believe that this is all a result of the feminization of the Western male, and I find it absolutely disturbing. It's not just a system now. Now they're pumping hormones into unwilling teenagers and destroying their lives. But that, my friends, is mere...
Listen, just for anyone that's tuning in, okay, just to give you some context as to what he's talking about, there was a story where a 16-year-old, okay, was being held, in like a juvenile facility, and a doctor prescribed estrogen to treat what they considered to be too high a testosterone level, without the permission of the kid, without the permission of the parents. So it just sounds like some sort of impropriety. It's Mr. Obvious. It sounds like some sort of impropriety or error or whatever you want to call it on the part of the prison system. But he's tried to paint it as far leftists trying to feminize men. It's incredible. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to clarify that point for anyone that's tuned in a bit later.
Merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Be sure to let me know down below in the comment section. As always, if you like the work I do and want to support the channel, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. Joining will give you access to a private Discord server, and yes, I am on there. And lastly, the best thing you can do for this channel is simply to share the content. Share my videos if you like them.
Listen.
If you don't, that's cool too. Anyhow, thanks for watching.
I really want to get in this private Discord.
And I'll see you all next time.
Yeah, prisons are run by leftists apparently. Oh my god, that was terrible. Right wing. The left is going to X. Left. That's just a crazy conspiracy theory. 5 months later, left. Hey, that's a good idea. Yep. Sounds good. Oh my god. Oh. Anyway, ridiculous video. Totally absurd. Another chud destroyed in the marketplace of ideas. No, I'm just kidding. I can't wait to cover this dude again. He's really funny to cover. But yeah. Literally, like, every point he was making has been debunked in one way or another already before he even started the video. This is the problem when you go in hard on the 2016 talking points like this dude does. Everything you've said has already been debunked in 2017, right? Forget about it. It's done. The end.